Discipline is Destiny: How the Strong Stay Strong. Produced by the School of Self-Development. Introduction. Why discipline still wins in every era. As Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson said, success isn't about greatness, it's about consistency. Consistent hard work leads to success. Greatness will come. We live in a world that glorifies the quick win, viral success stories, instant results, fast money, flashy outcomes with no mention of the internal battles it took to earn them. And in this flood of noise, a quiet but unshakable truth still remains. Discipline always wins. It's not sexy, it's not glamorous, but it's the one trait that outlasts trends, outperforms talent, and outshines potential every time. Discipline is the foundation of every success story that didn't collapse after one season. It's the hidden ingredient behind every elite performer, from athletes and entrepreneurs to artists and warriors. Where motivation flickers, discipline burns steady. The strongest people you know aren't always the most talented. They're the most consistent. They do what they say they're going to do. They show up on the days they don't feel like it. They stay grounded when life goes sideways. They don't chase results, they chase habits. And over time, that quiet discipline builds an unstoppable momentum. This audiobook is not about hyping you up for a few days. It's about transforming the way you approach your life for the long haul. This is a blueprint to help you build the kind of self-control, structure, and strength that turns potential into legacy. We'll explore how discipline works, why it matters, and how to forge it in your own life, whether you're just starting your journey or trying to level up in the middle of it. This isn't theory. These are battle-tested strategies, mindset shifts, and real-world frameworks you can apply immediately. You'll learn why motivation is a liar and discipline is truth. How to make discipline your identity, not just a behavior. How to structure your day to eliminate friction and failure. What separates the strong from the almost strong. How to stay calm and centered in moments of chaos. How to create habits that are built to last a lifetime. Discipline is not about punishment, it's about freedom. The freedom to say no. The freedom to follow through. The freedom to become the kind of person you're proud of, no matter the obstacles. So if you're tired of starting over, if you want to rise above the average, if you're ready to build a life on solid ground instead of emotional sand, welcome. Let's unlock the destiny that belongs to the disciplined. Chapter 1. The Myth of Motivation. Why discipline beats inspiration. Motivation gets you going, but discipline keeps you growing. John C. Maxwell. Every January, gyms fill up with people fueled by motivation. Social media is flooded with resolutions, vision boards, and bold declarations of how this year will be different. And for a little while, it is. People feel good, excited, inspired. But then February comes, and motivation disappears. The truth is, motivation is a mood, and like all moods, it's unstable. It comes and goes based on your energy levels, your emotions, or how well your morning coffee kicked in. It's easy to take action when you feel like it, but real growth happens when you act, especially when you don't. Motivation is the starting line, not the finish line. Motivation is not useless. It has its place. It's the spark. But sparks alone don't build fires that last through storms. Sparks flash, fade, and vanish. Discipline is what builds the fire, brick by brick, until it can withstand wind, rain, and resistance. That's what separates someone who starts from someone who finishes. If you've ever said, "I just need to get motivated again," I wish I felt more inspired to get back on track. When I feel ready, I'll start. You've been caught in the trap, and here's the truth. You will never feel ready. No one does. Winners don't wait for the right mood. They make a decision, and then they stick to it, especially when it's inconvenient. Discipline is a decision, not a feeling. When Navy SEALs are in combat, they don't wait for inspiration. When a mother wakes up to care for her crying child at 3 a.m., she's not motivated, she's committed. Discipline isn't about being excited. It's about doing what needs to be done because it needs to be done. That's where freedom lives. Not in waiting for the perfect moment, but in learning to act regardless of the moment. Here's the shift. Motivation asks, do I feel like it? Discipline says, it's time. Repetition over emotion. In the gym, the strongest person isn't the one yelling the loudest. It's the one who shows up every day, even when nobody's watching. The same applies to your career, your mindset, your health, your habits. Repetition is more powerful than inspiration. Because repetition creates systems. Systems create identity. And identity sustains you when emotions don't. You don't become disciplined by doing something once. You become disciplined by doing it over and over until it becomes who you are. The high of action is greater than the high of motivation. Here's a truth most people don't realize. Discipline creates motivation, not the other way around. When you take action, especially small, consistent action, you feel progress. And progress is the most powerful motivator in the world. Action creates results. Results create belief. Belief fuels your drive. And the cycle repeats. Waiting for motivation keeps you stuck in a holding pattern. Taking disciplined action, even without feeling, breaks the cycle. The brain loves patterns. Your brain is wired to conserve energy and avoid discomfort. That's why motivation feels good. It's emotional, energetic, and safe. But your brain also loves consistency. When you teach your brain that action happens regardless of emotion, it stops resisting. That's why elite athletes, Navy SEALs, entrepreneurs, and top performers all rely on routines. They've trained their mind to know, at this time, we do this, no matter what. You can train your brain the same way. Key takeaways from Chapter 1. Motivation is a feeling. Discipline is a system. Waiting for motivation is procrastination in disguise. Taking action, even small action, creates real momentum. Discipline builds identity. You are what you consistently do. You don't rise to your level of motivation. You fall to the level of your systems. You're not weak because you lost motivation. You're just relying on the wrong fuel source. In the next chapter, we'll go deeper into the core of self-discipline, how to build the art of keeping promises to yourself. Because the most powerful person in any room is the one who can lead themselves, quietly, consistently, and relentlessly. Chapter 2. Self-command, the art of keeping promises to yourself. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines, practiced every day. Jim Rohn. There's a hidden power that very few people possess, and it's not found in loud motivation, flashy goals, or public declarations. It's something quieter, something more personal, more internal. It's the ability to trust yourself, to say, I will, and then actually follow through, to make a decision in silence and keep it. This is self-command, the art of keeping promises to yourself, and it's the core of real discipline. Why self-trust is the foundation of discipline. Think about this. If someone in your life constantly broke promises to you, How long would you trust them? If they said they'd show up at 6 a.m. and never did. If they committed to helping you, but always had an excuse. If they talked big, but acted small. Eventually, you'd stop believing them. Their words would lose weight. Now, flip that mirror. How often do you break promises to yourself? I'll wake up early tomorrow. I'm going to eat healthy this week. I'll finally start that business. I'm going to cut back on distractions. And then, nothing. Each broken promise silently chips away at your self-trust. And without self-trust, discipline can't take root. You need to believe yourself to lead yourself. The cycle of broken promises. Here's the painful truth most people live inside. You make a promise to yourself. You don't follow through. You feel guilty or ashamed. You avoid thinking about it. You try to get motivated again. Repeat. This loop is devastating because over time your subconscious starts to believe, I'm the kind of person who doesn't follow through. But the good news is, you can break the cycle. And the way to do it isn't by setting bigger goals. It's by setting smaller promises and keeping them relentlessly. Your brain believes what you prove. The brain doesn't care what you say. It only believes what you repeatedly do. So if you say, I'm going to get up at 6 a.m., and you don't, your brain logs that as a broken promise. But if you say, I'm going to do 10 push-ups today, and you do, your brain logs that as a win. Wins stack. Each time you keep a small promise, you reinforce self-trust. And self-trust is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Start with ridiculously small promises. I'll drink a full glass of water when I wake up. I'll write for 5 minutes. I'll shut my phone off at 9 p.m. I'll walk around the block before checking email. Master the micro. That's how the macro is built. Discipline is self-leadership. Imagine you're both the general and the soldier of your life. The general sets the vision, the battle plan, the goal. The soldier carries it out. Most people can plan like a general, but they ignore their inner soldier. They forget to lead themselves daily. And the battle is lost, not because the goal was wrong, but because the self-leadership was weak. Discipline is the art of leading yourself with clarity and consistency. It's waking up when you said you would. It's showing up when no one else sees. It's doing the boring work that compounds into mastery. How to strengthen your self-command. Here are 5 strategies to build self-command and master internal discipline. 1. Start with non-negotiables. Pick 1 to 3 behaviors that are so small you cannot fail. These become sacred, daily actions that must happen no matter how you feel. 2. Make it public, optional. Tell someone you trust what promise you're keeping this week. Accountability isn't weakness, it's leverage. 3. Use visual tracking. Track your promises. Mark your wins. Habit tracking apps, checklists, or paper calendars create visual momentum. Wins you can see are wins you repeat. 4. Build an identity statement. I am the kind of person who blank. Fill in that blank with your chosen discipline. Say it daily. Live into it. This rewires your self-image. 5. Celebrate quietly. When you keep a promise, recognize it, but not with rewards, with reinforcement. Tell yourself, this is who I am now. You don't need dopamine hits. You need internal alignment. Rewire this belief. I can't stick to anything. Change it to, I'm learning to keep promises to myself, one small win at a time. Key takeaways from Chapter 2. Discipline is built on self-trust. Every broken promise weakens your inner leadership. Start small. Master micro wins to rewire your identity. Track, celebrate, and reinforce your quiet wins. Lead yourself like a soldier follows a general, with clarity and loyalty. In the next chapter, we'll break down how to create daily rituals that build strength without willpower, so discipline becomes automatic and self-sustaining. Chapter 3. Building rituals that build you. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. James Clear. Let's get brutally honest. Most people fail not because they lack ambition, but because they rely on willpower. Willpower is like a battery. It runs out. It's inconsistent. It's affected by how well you slept, what you ate, and what mood you're in. But rituals, disciplined, repeatable routines, don't care how you feel. They don't ask for your opinion. They just happen. If you want to be strong, consistent, focused, and unstoppable, you need rituals that work for you, not against you. Habits versus rituals. Let's clarify something. Habits are automatic. Rituals are intentional. Brushing your teeth is a habit. You don't think about it. Lighting a candle before journaling is a ritual. It has meaning. Rituals elevate habits into purposeful actions. They are symbols of self-respect, signals to your brain that say, "We're entering the zone now." They don't just build discipline. They train identity. They remind you who you are. Why rituals are the backbone of the disciplined life. Rituals give structure to your energy. Without them, you waste mental bandwidth deciding what to do, when to do it, and whether you feel like doing it. Rituals reduce decision fatigue, create emotional momentum, anchor identity, eliminate chaos. Imagine not needing to feel ready every morning. You simply follow your system, like clockwork, like a pro. Build rituals that serve your mission. Don't build rituals to look productive. Build them to serve your purpose. Ask, who am I becoming? What would a person at that level do every day? How can I turn those actions into simple rituals? If you want to become disciplined, adopt the rituals of the disciplined. How to create high-impact rituals. Here's a 5-step process to build rituals that reinforce discipline and identity. 1. Define your identity first. Before you create a ritual, answer this. What kind of person do I want to be? Example, I am someone who treats my body with respect. I am a focused entrepreneur. I am a person of structure and action. Your rituals should mirror that identity. 2. Start small but sacred. Don't try to build a 2-hour morning routine on day 1. That's just setting yourself up to fail. Start with something sacred but simple, a 5-minute journaling ritual, a morning walk while listening to an audiobook, lighting a candle before deep work. Keep it small. Keep it consistent. Make it sacred. 3. Stack with existing habits. This is called habit stacking, pairing a new ritual with something you already do. Example, after I brush my teeth, I'll drink 12 ounces of water. After I make my bed, I'll stretch for 3 minutes. After I make coffee, I'll write my priorities for the day. Your brain loves chains. Create a chain of rituals that lead to greatness. 4. Remove friction. ruthlessly. The easier a ritual is to do, the more likely you'll repeat it. Lay your clothes out the night before. Set up your workspace in advance. Eliminate access to distractions before you begin. Remove any excuse your weaker self might use. 5. Anchor with meaning. Give your ritual a deeper why. Your 6 a.m. run isn't just for fitness. It's proving you're in control of your life. That cold shower isn't just for energy. It's a declaration of mental toughness. Journaling at night isn't just reflection. It's a commitment to growth. Rituals aren't chores. They're commitments. Rituals of the strong. Examples to model. Here are real rituals used by high performers. Jocko Willink, retired Navy SEAL. Wake up at 4:30 a.m. and post a photo of his watch. Not to show off, but to keep himself accountable. Kobe Bryant. Shot 800 free throws before most people woke up. Maya Angelou. Wrote in a hotel room with no distractions, same time every day, to train creativity. You don't need to copy them, but you do need to build your own code of rituals, the personal systems that sharpen your sword. Discipline lives in the rituals you repeat. The disciplined life isn't built in dramatic moments. It's built in the quiet hours, the unglamorous consistency, the daily return to your process. Your rituals are the containers that hold your future. Honor them. Key takeaways from Chapter 3. Rituals are purposeful, repeatable acts that create identity. Start with small, sacred actions that reflect who you want to be. Stack rituals with existing habits to increase consistency. Eliminate friction and distractions to support your system. Anchor each ritual with meaning. It's not what you do, it's why. In the next chapter, we'll go deeper into the core structure of a disciplined life, breaking it down into the 5 pillars of self-discipline that hold everything else up. Chapter 4. The 5 pillars of self-discipline. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Jim Rohn. Discipline isn't an accident. It's not luck. And it's certainly not just for a chosen few. It's a structure, a framework, a system you build and live inside. Like a house, your discipline needs pillars, foundational elements that hold up the entire structure of your life. Remove one, and everything begins to shake. Strengthen all 5, and you become immovable. This chapter breaks down the 5 core pillars of self-discipline that form the backbone of personal power. Pillar 1. Clarity of purpose. You can't have discipline without direction. It's nearly impossible to stay consistent when you don't know why you're doing something. Vague goals create weak habits, but crystal clear purpose creates emotional fuel that makes discipline natural. Ask yourself, what am I really building? What does success look like for me? Who am I becoming? Your purpose doesn't need to be fancy or public, it just needs to be real. Whether it's becoming a strong role model for your kids, reaching financial freedom, or honoring your potential, discipline flows from purpose. Discipline without purpose feels like punishment. Purpose turns discipline into devotion. Pillar 2. Control over time. Discipline dies in chaos. If you don't control your time, someone or something else will. Time control doesn't mean micromanaging your day down to the minute. It means living intentionally, not reactively. It means understanding that every yes is a no to something else, and being okay with that. The disciplined person plans their day the night before, knows when to say no, protects their mornings like sacred ground, uses time blocks for deep work. Start asking, is this moving me toward my purpose or just keeping me busy. Time isn't just money. Time is identity in motion. Spend it like it matters, because it does. Pillar 3. Emotional mastery. You cannot build long-term discipline if you're a slave to your emotions. The reality? You will not feel like showing up every day. You will face fear, doubt, boredom, and frustration. Emotional mastery doesn't mean you suppress feelings. It means you don't let them drive the car. The emotionally strong feel emotions without reacting impulsively. Pause before reacting. Use discomfort as information, not instruction. Know how to calm their nervous system. One of the greatest tests of discipline is, can you do the right thing when your feelings say otherwise? Master your emotions, or they will master your momentum. Pillar 4. Delayed gratification. This is the muscle most people never develop, and it's why they never reach their potential. Delayed gratification is the ability to resist a smaller reward now for a greater reward later. It's saying no to junk food now for better health later. No to distractions now for deeper focus later. No to quick wins now for legacy later. Every time you delay gratification, you build inner strength. You train your brain that you are in control, not your impulses. One trick: instead of thinking of it as missing out, reframe it as trading up. You're not denying yourself. You're investing in something better. Short-term sacrifice. Long-term supremacy. Pillar 5. Consistency over intensity. Most people try to be intense. Few try to be consistent. Intensity is sexy. It's posting about your big goals. It's a week of perfect workouts. It's an all-night grind session. But consistency, that's where the magic happens. That's brushing your teeth, even when you're tired. That's writing every day, even when you don't feel creative. That's showing up again and again, especially when it's boring. The most disciplined people have boring routines. Embrace repetition. Find joy in the process, not just the prize. Measure progress by effort, not just outcomes. If you only work hard when you feel like it, you'll never master anything. The bricklayer builds a castle, one brick at a time. Key takeaways from Chapter 4. Purpose gives discipline a reason to exist. Time control turns chaos into structure. Emotional mastery allows discipline to survive discomfort. Delayed gratification is the currency of greatness. Consistency, not intensity, is the secret of the strong. In the next chapter, we'll tackle one of the greatest threats to discipline, temptation, and show you how the strong don't just avoid it, they master it. Chapter 5. How the strong manage temptation. What you resist persists. Carl Jung. Temptation is a test every disciplined person must face. Not once, but daily. It's in the fridge. It's on your phone. It's in the words, just one time. It's in every excuse dressed up as logic. You can't eliminate temptation, but you can outsmart it. You can remove its power. You can set traps for your lower self before your lower self sets them for you. The strong don't rely on willpower to manage temptation. They design environments that make temptation irrelevant. Let's dive into how they do it. The real nature of temptation. Temptation doesn't always come as sin or sabotage. Sometimes it shows up as that little voice saying, "You deserve a break." The craving for approval instead of purpose. The desire to escape discomfort rather than lean into it. Temptation is often a shortcut to comfort. It's not evil. It's easy. And that's the danger. Easy is seductive. Easy is always available. Easy is always whispering, come back to the familiar. Discipline says, I choose better over easier. Why willpower is a failing strategy. If you're trying to resist temptation in the moment, you've already lost the real battle. Why? Because willpower is a limited resource, depletes with stress, fatigue, or decision overload, is reactive, not proactive. The strong know that systems beat strength. Instead of fighting temptation at the moment of weakness, they set up rules, routines, and boundaries before the moment arrives. Discipline is not about resisting more. It's about exposing yourself to less. Strategies the strong use to defeat temptation. Let's get tactical. Here are 7 ways disciplined people manage temptation like professionals. 1. Design environments that support focus. Don't trust yourself to resist junk food? Don't keep it in the house. Struggle with focus? Turn off phone notifications. Tempted by comparison? Delete the app. The most disciplined people aren't stronger than you. They've just removed the decision altogether. Make discipline the default by engineering your space for success. 2. Create a no-fly zone for weakness hours. You know the times you're most likely to slip. Late at night, when you're tired, when you're alone. Create rules for these hours. No junk food after 8 p.m. No phone in bed. No big decisions when you're tired or angry. These rules protect your future self from your vulnerable self. Discipline anticipates the fall and builds a guardrail. 3. Have a go-to alternative. Don't just eliminate the bad, replace it with something neutral or good. Craving sugar? Try fruit, gum, or water first. Want to scroll social media? Read 2 pages of a book before deciding. Feeling overwhelmed? Walk instead of escaping into YouTube. Discipline isn't about deprivation, it's about replacement. Substitution is the secret weapon of self-control. 4. Visualize the consequences, not just the pleasure. Temptation always shows you the beginning, the dopamine, the comfort, the fun. It hides the cost. When temptation strikes, ask, what happens after? How will I feel about this in an hour? Is this taking me closer to my goals or further away? The strong fast-forward the film before pressing play. Awareness is stronger than resistance. 5. Use pre-commitments. Make decisions in advance while you're strong, because your future self will try to negotiate. Examples: set gym appointments with a friend, meal prep on Sundays. Schedule work blocks in a public space so you're less likely to slack. When the moment of weakness arrives, you've already closed the door. Pre-commitment is how the disciplined say no before the question is even asked. 6. Name your triggers. Track when, where, and why temptation shows up. It's usually linked to one of these: stress, boredom, fatigue, loneliness, anxiety. Once you name the real emotion, you can address the root, not just the urge. You don't need to fight temptation. Just understand it. 7. Delay the decision. Temptation loses power with time. When you feel the urge to give in, say, I'll decide in 10 minutes. Do something else during that time. Most of the time, the urge fades, and your rational brain regains control. Delay weakens the voice of impulse. Strong people aren't perfect. They're prepared. Even the most disciplined people feel temptation. They just don't let it rule their lives. They don't argue with it. They don't give it oxygen. They outplan it. They know this truth. If I keep putting myself in tempting environments, I'll eventually give in. So they stop playing with fire and start building firewalls. Key takeaways from Chapter 5. Temptation is usually a shortcut to comfort. Willpower is unreliable. Systems are sustainable. The strong remove temptation, not just resist it. Pre-commitments and replacement strategies work. Awareness, delay, and environment design are the best tools for self-control. In the next chapter, we'll move from external temptation to internal power and teach you how to train your mind for grit, patience, and delayed gratification like the strongest people on earth. Chapter 6, Training the Mind, Mental Toughness and Delayed Gratification. Suffer the pain of discipline, or suffer the pain of regret. Unknown. Every day your mind faces a decision. Do I do what's easy, or do I do what's right? Do I seek comfort now, or invest in greatness later? Mental toughness is the ability to choose your long-term vision over your short-term mood. It's what separates the good from the legendary, the almost committed from the unbreakable. And like muscle, mental strength can be trained. This chapter teaches you how to build resilience, patience, and grit, and master the art of delayed gratification so you can outlast, outperform, and outgrow your former self. What is mental toughness really? Mental toughness isn't about being emotionless or robotic. It's not about suffering without complaint. It's about endurance of purpose. True mental toughness is showing up even when you're tired, staying calm when everything goes sideways, choosing the hard thing because it's the right thing, delaying pleasure to multiply your power. Toughness is not loud. It's quiet consistency under pressure. Why delayed gratification is the superpower of the disciplined. The world rewards those who wait and work while waiting. Invest money today. You build wealth tomorrow. Eat clean today. You build health over months. Say no to distractions. You gain deep focus and mastery. The strongest people are those who've trained themselves to say, not now, later is better. But how? Let's break down the mental training strategies that build this rare ability. 6 mental training strategies to build discipline and delay gratification. 1. The future self visualization. Train your brain to become emotionally connected to your future self. Ask, what will my future self thank me for today? How will this decision affect me in 90 days? Am I voting for the identity I want or the one I'm trying to leave behind? Visualizing your future creates emotional leverage. It turns vague goals into urgent decisions. Think long. Act now. 2. Practice. Controlled discomfort daily. Grit isn't built in ease. It's built in intentional friction. Daily discomfort builds internal strength. Take cold showers. Fast for short windows. Do the hard task first. Finish the workout even when your mind says, stop. These small moments of challenge teach your nervous system. I can survive discomfort. I don't have to escape. Discomfort is the gym where toughness is trained. 3. Use the 10-10-10 rule. When you're tempted to quit, ask, how will I feel about this decision in 10 minutes? In 10 hours? In 10 days? This shifts your focus from now to impact, the hallmark of mature minds. Grit doesn't avoid emotion. It overrides impulse with vision. 4. Micro wins daily. Mental toughness grows from tiny victories repeated over time. Each time you wake up on time, finish a workout, say no to temptation, follow through on a commitment, you're casting a vote for your stronger self. Strength is not built in one bold act. It's sculpted from small, consistent wins. 5. Name the battle, not just the behavior. When you're tempted to give in or quit, pause and label what's really happening. This is my comfort craving talking. This is resistance showing up. This is the part of me that fears success. When you name the battle, you separate from it. You stop identifying with the weakness and start seeing it as a challenge to overcome. You are not your urges. You are the one observing them. 6. Create time-restricted rewards. Delayed gratification doesn't mean never experiencing pleasure. It means controlling when you experience it. Set rules like, after 2 hours of deep work, I can check my favorite podcast. Once I hit my fitness goal this week, I'll enjoy a treat on Sunday. After 10 days of consistency, I'll take a day of intentional rest. This strategy rewards discipline without falling into indulgence. Pleasure is more powerful when it's earned. The grit formula: strength over time. The mentally tough aren't born that way. They're forged by consistent training, just like an athlete, a soldier, or a monk. And they understand this truth. Comfort is a thief. It steals your potential and disguises it as relief. They choose pressure over passivity, structure over softness. They are patient, but relentless. They've trained their mind to obey their vision, not their feelings. And you can too. Key takeaways from Chapter 6. Mental toughness is quiet, consistent pressure toward your purpose. Delayed gratification is emotional maturity in action. Controlled discomfort builds long-term strength. Micro wins and time-framed rewards reinforce your identity. Your urges are not commands. Your vision is. In the next chapter, we'll shift gears and explore how disciplined people stay strong when the storm hits, and why your true strength is revealed in times of crisis, not comfort. Chapter 7. Discipline in crisis: how to stay strong when it all falls apart. Anyone can hold the helm when the sea is calm. Publilius Cyrus. It's easy to be disciplined when everything's going well. When the schedule flows, the energy is high, the money's right, and you feel motivated. Anyone can show up with focus. But real discipline isn't tested in peace. It's tested in chaos, in heartbreak, in uncertainty, in fatigue, in failure. When the world crumbles and your plan goes up in flames, that's when the truth reveals itself. Do you have a system strong enough to survive the storm? This chapter is about building crisis-proof discipline, so you don't just survive difficulty, you become stronger because of it. Why crisis is the ultimate stress test. Life doesn't ask if you're ready. The job ends. The relationship breaks. The injury happens. The goal slips out of reach. Suddenly, the habits that felt automatic begin to slip. The mind that felt sharp turns scattered. The motivation vanishes. Crisis is a pressure cooker. It doesn't create your character. It reveals it. The disciplined person doesn't pretend the crisis isn't real. They don't lie to themselves with toxic positivity. But they don't crumble either. They do what they've trained for. They fall back on routine. They double down on structure. Because when emotions are high, the plan must stay higher. Default to systems, not feelings. When you're in crisis, you don't rise to the level of your potential. You fall to the level of your systems. That's why the strongest people build disciplined systems that operate even when their emotions don't. Ask yourself, what's my default routine when I'm in chaos? What's my go-to anchor habit when the day goes sideways? What's the one thing I will still do no matter how I feel? Strong systems equal safe ground. When the world spins, your systems become your sanctuary. How to build crisis-resistant discipline. Here are 6 key strategies the strong use to stay anchored when life unravels. 1. Create a minimum standard routine. In crisis, you won't always have energy for a full routine, but you must have a bare minimum that you always hit. Examples: 5-minute stretch in the morning. Drink 32 ounces of water before anything else. Write down 3 thoughts or goals. 10 minutes of silent breathing or meditation. This isn't about performance. It's about protecting your identity. It tells your mind, we are still in control, even in chaos. Lower the bar, but never to 0. 2. Use crisis as a clarity filter. Crisis simplifies everything. It strips away the fluff. It shows you what actually matters. What's been stealing your focus, who shows up and who disappears. Lean into that clarity. Use it to rebuild better. Let the storm wipe out the distractions you've been too comfortable to remove yourself. Rock bottom can be sacred ground, if you choose to build from it. 3. Create an emotional triage list. When your mind spirals, have a simple list. Breathe deeply for 60 seconds. Drink a glass of water. Go for a 10-minute walk. Journal what you're feeling. Do one productive thing, no matter how small. These steps create forward motion when paralysis hits. They turn chaos into order, fear into action. Movement is the antidote to mental fog. 4. Detach from perfection. Discipline in crisis doesn't mean doing everything perfectly. It means doing something deliberately. It means controlling what you can and letting go of what you can't. Some days, showing up is the win, not quitting is the rep. You don't have to be unshakable. You just have to be unwilling to give up. 5. Anchor in a strong why. When pain increases, your reason for staying disciplined must become louder than the noise. Ask, why does this matter? Who am I doing this for? What would giving up cost me? When the path gets dark, purpose is the torch. If you have a strong enough reason, you'll find a way. 6. Lean on your inner contract. Before the storm hits, write this down. No matter what happens, I will still. It might be: read 5 pages a day, do 20 minutes of focused work, exercise for 10 minutes, pray, meditate, or reflect daily. This inner contract becomes your compass when you're lost. It's not about controlling the storm. It's about not letting it change who you are. Discipline doesn't mean emotionless. It means focused. It's okay to feel shaken, to grieve, to be unsure. Discipline doesn't erase emotion. It keeps you moving through it. It keeps you from drowning in what happened and focused on what's next. The strongest people in the world don't have perfect lives. They just have unshakable habits. And when everything falls apart, they still stand. Key takeaways from Chapter 7. Crisis reveals the strength of your discipline systems. Lower the bar, but never to 0. Use chaos as clarity. Let it refine you, not define you. Purpose and routine are anchors in the storm. Real strength is continuing, even at half speed. In the next chapter, we'll explore one of the most underestimated superpowers in success, how you start your day, and why winning your first hour can shape your destiny. Chapter 8. The Daily War, winning the first hour of the day. If you win the morning, you win the day. Tim Ferriss. There's a quiet battlefield that most people never see, but the disciplined know it well. It's not in the gym. It's not in the office. It's not on a stage. It's in the first hour of the day. That first hour is sacred. It sets the tone for everything. It determines your focus, your energy, your state of mind, and your level of self-respect. It's where you either take control of the day or hand it over to distraction, emotion, and chaos. Disciplined people treat the first hour like a mission. Undisciplined people treat it like a negotiation. In this chapter, you'll learn how to build a morning routine that makes discipline automatic, not optional, and how to train your mind to start every day like a winner, not a wanderer. Why the first hour is the most powerful. Before the world demands your attention, before notifications start buzzing, before your responsibilities wake up, you have a short, golden window to claim your power. Here's why the first hour matters. It determines your brain's focus setting for the rest of the day. It either triggers stress, reactivity, or structure, intentionality. It reinforces identity, who you believe you are. If the first thing you do is scroll, snooze, or stress, you've already lost ground. If the first thing you do is act with clarity, even in a small way, you've already won. The undisciplined morning versus the disciplined morning. Undisciplined morning. Snoozes alarm multiple times. Checks phone immediately. Starts the day in reaction mode. Eats mindlessly or skips breakfast. Rushes into work without direction. Disciplined morning. Wakes up with intention. Avoids phone for the first 30 to 60 minutes. Moves body. Breathes deeply. Or meditates. Reviews goals or priorities. Creates momentum before the world wakes up. The difference? One is reactive, the other is rehearsed. You don't need a perfect morning routine. You need a repeatable one. Building a discipline-first morning routine. Let's create a first-hour strategy that wins the internal war before the external battle even begins. Use this 5-part framework. 1. Wake on the first alarm. Your first victory of the day is getting up when you said you would. Snoozing sends a message to your subconscious. My word doesn't matter. Comfort wins. Even if you're tired, even if it's dark. Rise. This trains your brain that you are in charge. The first win is always, I do what I said I would do. 2. Delay stimulation. Embrace stillness. No phone, no news, no emails. Your brain is in a fragile, programmable state when you wake. Don't give it chaos. Instead, use the first 20 to 30 minutes to meditate or sit in silence. Focus on breath work. Journal your thoughts. Reflect on your values or gratitude. This isn't wasting time. This is wiring your nervous system for strength. Quiet minds make powerful decisions. 3. Move your body, even briefly. Motion changes emotion. Even 5 to 10 minutes of stretching, walking, or light training can. Release cortisol. Trigger dopamine. Boost energy. Prime focus. You're telling your body, we're active, we're alive, we're moving forward. Movement is mental fuel. 4. Review your identity and goals. Who are you becoming? Why are you working? What matters today? Take 3 to 5 minutes to review your goals. Read your I am statements. Visualize the person you're choosing to be. This makes your vision louder than your excuses. Identity must lead behavior, not the other way around. 5. Do one productive action immediately. Start the day with momentum. Do something meaningful before the world pulls you into noise. Examples: write for 10 minutes. Read 5 pages of a growth book. Plan your top 3 tasks for the day. Tidy your space or prep meals. This small action tells your brain, we are builders, we are focused, we are intentional. First action equals forward momentum. Stack the routine to match your lifestyle. You don't need a 2-hour miracle morning. You just need 20 to 60 minutes of structure. The key is consistency. Pick 3 to 5 non-negotiables. Stack them. Do them every day, especially when you don't feel like it. Key takeaways from Chapter 8. The first hour shapes the rest of the day. Own it. Start with silence, movement, clarity, and a small win. Avoid reactive behaviors like snoozing and scrolling. Create an identity-centered routine. Momentum early equals mental strength all day. In the next chapter, we'll connect everything together and show how tiny acts of discipline, stacked over time, shape your entire destiny. Chapter 9. Discipline and Destiny. How small acts become greatness. Greatness is a lot of small things done well, day after day, workout after workout, obedience after obedience. Ray Lewis. Most people think destiny is something you're born with, something written in the stars, something given to the lucky, the talented, the chosen. But the truth is much simpler and more powerful. Destiny is built. One decision at a time, one act of discipline at a time, one quiet yes to your purpose and no to your weakness. This chapter is about the compounding power of small, consistent acts and how those acts shape not just your habits, but your identity, reputation, and legacy. Brick by brick, the compound effect of discipline. Imagine laying one brick every day. It doesn't look like much at first, just a small effort. But one day, that brick becomes a wall. That wall becomes a room. That room becomes a house. And before you know it, you've built a fortress of strength, one decision at a time. That's how greatness is built, not in heroic moments, but in daily choices. Not in motivation spikes, but in non-negotiable routines. Not in grand declarations, but in quiet commitments you keep when no one is watching. Discipline is destiny, because discipline is identity in motion. Every act is a vote. James Clear said it best. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you want to become. So, when you wake up early instead of snoozing, vote for responsibility. Finish your workout when tired. Vote for mental toughness. Focus for 30 minutes without distraction. Vote for clarity. Say no to that unnecessary purchase. Vote for self-control. You are casting votes for your future. One vote won't change your life, but hundreds, stacked over time, they create a new you. Every small act matters. Nothing is neutral. You're either reinforcing weakness or building strength. Identity is reinforced by action. People say, I wish I had more discipline. But that's backwards. You don't get discipline and then act disciplined. You act disciplined, and then you become disciplined. Identity follows behavior. You're not trying to fake it till you make it. You're simply choosing to act like the person you want to become until it becomes natural. Want to be a runner? Run daily. Want to be focused? Build focus habits. Want to be financially free? Make financial decisions from a future mindset. This is not about pretending, it's about training. And eventually, it stops feeling like effort and starts feeling like you. Momentum is greater than motivation. Here's the truth. Discipline builds momentum, and momentum makes future discipline easier. Think of it like pushing a boulder. At first, it takes everything you've got. Then it rolls. Then it speeds up. Then you're no longer pushing, you're guiding. That's what happens when you build consistent daily disciplines. Eventually, they pull you forward. You don't need to get motivated. You just follow the rhythm. Momentum is the reward for not quitting when it was hard. Habits stack. Strength stacks. So does success. One strong decision leads to another. One clean meal leads to a workout. One day of focus leads to a week of progress. 1 month of financial control leads to long-term freedom. The disciplined life is not built in bursts, it's built in layers. Layer after layer, brick after brick. And the truth is, your future self isn't waiting for a breakthrough. They're waiting for you to follow through. The silent greatness of the disciplined. Discipline often goes unnoticed by the world. No one claps when you make your bed at 5 a.m. No one cheers when you say no to cake. No one sees the journal entries, the reps, the hard conversations, the skipped parties, the long nights. But you know, and you feel it. And eventually, the world notices the result. Discipline is slow. Discipline is silent. But it's the only thing loud enough to echo into your destiny. Key takeaways from Chapter 9. Every act of discipline is a vote for the person you want to become. Small wins stack into identity. Identity creates destiny. Don't wait to feel disciplined. Act disciplined first. Momentum makes discipline easier the longer you stay consistent. Discipline feels invisible until the results are impossible to ignore. In the final chapter, we'll look at what happens when discipline becomes legacy and how the life you're building today can impact far more than just yourself. Chapter 10. Legacy of the Disciplined. From today to forever. The greatest gift you can give the world is the example of a life lived with intention. Unknown. At some point, your discipline becomes bigger than just you. It becomes legacy. The way you show up, every day, every moment, every decision, leaves behind a trail. Whether you realize it or not, you are writing a story with your habits. And the pages aren't just read by you. They're read by your children, your family, your team, your community. Discipline may begin as a personal commitment, but it ends as a public impact. And that's the final, most powerful reason to pursue it. Because the strongest people don't just build success, they leave a blueprint. The echo effect of your discipline. Every act of discipline you commit to shows others what's possible, gives people permission to aim higher, inspires more than your words ever could. The disciplined father who wakes up early to work out and read. He's not just getting fit, he's modeling consistency to his children. The disciplined entrepreneur who honors her values instead of chasing quick wins. She's not just building profit, she's building trust, reputation, and leadership. Your discipline is never just about you. You may think no one is watching, but someone is. And your example might be the spark that changes someone else's life. Legacy isn't what you leave behind. It's what you build into others. Discipline multiplies across generations. Discipline has generational power. Just like trauma or addiction can be passed down, so can strength, structure, and wisdom. When you live with discipline, your children learn resilience through observation. Your team learns excellence through your example. Your community rises because you raised your standards. Even if you were raised without structure, even if no one showed you discipline growing up, you can become the first link in a new chain. You are not bound by your past. You are building the future. Discipline builds things that outlast you. Money fades, fame fades, looks fade. But systems, values, and principles, those endure. When you live a disciplined life, you're not just chasing success. You're building a name that means something, a body of work that speaks louder than your voice, a presence that lingers after you're gone. Your life becomes a lighthouse for others lost in the storm. The structures you build now will shelter people you've never even met. What will they say about you? One day you'll be gone, but your life will still speak. Will they say, "He always showed up. She was reliable. They inspired me to believe in myself. They never gave up. They were consistent, strong, focused, and intentional." Or will they say, "They had potential, but never followed through. They started a lot, but never finished. They lived in reaction, not purpose." You are writing that story now, and you write it not with your dreams, but with your discipline. Your habits echo in other people's lives. Make them count. Discipline creates a ripple effect of transformation. Think about this. A disciplined leader creates better jobs and teams. A disciplined parent creates safer, wiser children. A disciplined artist inspires millions through their craft. A disciplined thinker teaches others how to think clearly. A disciplined coach transforms entire communities. You don't need to change the world in one leap. You just need to live with such clarity and strength that your world, your circle, is forever better because you passed through it. Your disciplined life gives people belief. Key takeaways from Chapter 10. Discipline becomes legacy the moment it inspires someone else. You're always leading, whether you realize it or not. Strong systems outlive their creators. Build what lasts. Your example is more powerful than your advice. You are writing your legacy one disciplined decision at a time. In the final conclusion, we'll tie everything together and leave you with one powerful truth. You are stronger than you feel, and your destiny is built one disciplined step at a time. Conclusion: you are stronger than you feel. You don't need to be more talented. You don't need to be more motivated. You don't even need to be more confident. You just need to be more consistent. Everything you want, clarity, confidence, health, impact, peace, lives on the other side of disciplined action. Not perfect action. Not inspired action. Just intentional, repeatable action. Done whether you feel like it or not. Let's revisit what you've built in this journey. You've learned. That motivation is a liar, and discipline is the truth. That self-command is built by keeping promises to yourself, one at a time. That daily rituals create identity, not just results. That the 5 pillars of self-discipline, purpose, time control, emotional mastery, delayed gratification, and consistency, are the framework for unshakable growth. That temptation is a trap best avoided by design, not resisted by force. That mental toughness is a muscle you build through small, daily challenges. That true strength is revealed not in success, but in how you respond to chaos. That your first hour can define your entire day. That every small act of discipline is a vote for the person you want to become. And that ultimately, the disciplined life you live today will become the legacy you leave tomorrow. This is your moment. The world is full of noise, distraction, emotion, excuses. But none of that matters now, because you are no longer the person who waits to feel ready. You're the one who acts with discipline, because you've chosen to be strong. You do what you said you would do. You rise when it's hard. You follow through when no one's watching. You build systems that sharpen you. You respect your word. You move forward with intention. And because of that, you will not be stopped. Final words to remember. You don't need big leaps, just small wins that stack. You don't need hype, just consistency. You don't need to be perfect, just persistent. You don't need to wait, just begin. The strongest people aren't lucky. They're disciplined. And now, so are you. Your new creed. I will do the work, whether I feel like it or not. I will keep my word, even when no one's watching. I will choose long-term vision over short-term relief. I will show up for my future self, daily. I am not soft, I am not scattered, I am disciplined. And discipline is my destiny. Thank you for taking this journey. Now go live it. Strong, focused, unbreakable,